Greetings, family. How is everybody feeling? Today's video is about 10 top reasons why your locks are thinning. Let's talk about it. Now, let me say this. I'm going to give you 10 top reasons, but these reasons are not just for locks. The first 10 reasons that your locks are thinning or your natural hair is thinning is because you are covering it. For some reason, if you cover your hair a lot, your hair will start thinning. It doesn't matter if it's locks or not. Your hair will start thinning because your scalp needs to breathe. And if it's not breathing, then of course sooner or later it's going to cause problems. That's a reason why your hair starts thinning. Now let me say this. Now when you cover your hair, I'm talking about hats, I'm talking about wigs, I'm talking about stocking caps, anything like that. Whenever you're doing that in excess, too much of anything isn't good anyway, and we already know that. So if you're covering your hair a lot, your scalp is not going to be allowed to breathe like it wants to or like it needs to. It doesn't get a break. So sooner or later it will cause thinning. Number 9. Now, number 9 is cutting into your locks. And what I mean by that is that sometimes when you have locks, your locks may have like this little fuzziness around it, fuzziness around your locks, or, bushy locks around it. A lot of people feel that it's good to just go and cut along the side of the locks and cut all that extra excess of hair off, but that could cause thinning. So you may want to be careful with that. You're doing either a simple twist or interlocking, and if you go and cut that hair along the sides, you are cutting away hair. You're messing up the training that your lock is going through. So you will sooner or later cause that to thin. Now, the best thing to do is that if you have that excess of hair is to get some kind of product or just get water and just pull the hair out some and just wrap it around the lock. And eventually it will be trained also with your locks. Now, number 8. Number 8 is mainly pertaining to people who get edges or people who have like a pretty much, like a style like mine. I have like a fade. And so if you're getting your barber to, fade you out or, doing a little edge or whatever, if your barber go too far up, because I've seen where your natural line is here and your barber end up cutting your hair back here. So be very careful of that. Eventually what's going to happen is that line is going to go further and further back, and what causes that is that he's cutting into your locks, and your locks either thin or sometimes your locks may get cut off altogether, with him cutting the side of your hair. Now I suggest that you go to a barber that has locks already, because he's more sensitive to your locks and your locks journey. So he's going to be more careful not to cut into your locks or around your locks, because that will make your locks thin. Now, number 7. Number 7 is shampoo. Now, if you are washing your hair with shampoo that does not have moisture in it, hydration shampoo, then that will cause your locks to thin or your natural hair to thin. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of these products that are in the stores is made for our hair. But if you don't know that and you're just going to the store and just picking out any kind of shampoo for your hair, it's going to strip all the moisture out of your hair, but you don't know that. So you don't put the moisture back, which will cause dryness, itchiness, all kind of stuff going on. You'll see flakes in your head, and you kind of wonder what all those things are coming from. And it's coming from your shampoo. Your shampoo is dehydrating your locks. Your shampoo is dehydrating your hair. So it's best to use a shampoo that has moisture in it, or a hydrated shampoo. Number 6 is medication. Now, this applies for everybody, whether you got locks or loose hair or natural hair or perms. Medication. Medication is a chemical, and your body already have chemicals inside of it. So you put this medication inside your body that mixes with whatever, and a lot of times you already got some other things that are going on too with your body. So you mix all these things together, it's gonna cause your hair to thin, your locks to thin as well. Now, I am not a doctor, but I've done hair for over 26 years, and I've seen a lot of things. I hadn't seen it all, because I'm still learning, but I've seen a lot of things. Now, food is medicine. 3-day raw food challenge. Food is medicine, y'all. If you can eat healthy, you wouldn't have a need for any medication. You wouldn't have a need for your high blood pressure pills, which cause your hair to thin. Depression pills, which cause your hair to thin. Most of those pills or medication, they will cause your hair to thin. So you need to be very careful. If you want to reverse the curse, you need to embrace healthy foods. Number 5 is color. Now, you don't really think about it that much, but color does cause your hair to thin. And the reason why I say that, now, you would think that maybe a particular color will cause it to thin, maybe like the ones that really, really lift the melanin out of the hair, or the pigmentation out of the hair. No, all color cause your locks to thin. I know somebody, one of my clients, in the past, he was dyeing his hair mainly black, and there was a female too as well, a queen, that was dyeing her hair black all the time. But I noticed whenever it was time to get her retwist, or time to get his retwist, that his locks would feel thinner. In my head, I always thought that if you lift the pigmentation out of the hair, like doing your blondes and your yellows, or your things that are going to make the hair really, really light, pinks, that bleaching will cause your hair to thin. And of course, yes, it will, but I am sadly surprised that black, or those colors that deposit colors into the hair, also causes it to thin. Number 4, and I know you guys have heard this before, but pulling the hair also causes your lock to thin. And what I mean by pulling is that if you have these really beautiful, amazing styles, and you have a lot of tension when you get these styles done, it's going to cause your locks to thin. If you having a lot of tension, especially to the point to where you need a pain pill, you need to take your hair down, because it's going to pull the hair right out of the follicle. If it is painful, it is not good. Now, there are styles that you can get that would be comfortable for your head, but it really just depends on your stylist. But you can always communicate with your stylist and let them know, hey, this is a little too tight. Wait a minute, I can't handle this. Just let them know how you feel, and I'm sure they'll find a way to make it more comfortable for you. Now, hats also can pull your hair. If you feel any kind of tension, whether you got a hat on, whether you got a wig on, or whether you got a stocking on, or let's just say you have on a hair wrap, if you feel pulling, it's going to cause your hair to come out the follicle. So be very mindful and careful with that. Number 3. Now, y'all, number 3 is heavy locks. Even though that we all are different shades of brown, of pigmented people, doesn't mean that we all have the same kind of hair. Now you can have that 9 ether really tight and strong hair, and you can have heavy locks and it may be all right. But if you're doing, of course, that excess of styling, it can cause thinning, like pulling your hair in a ponytail, which I talked about that already. But if you have like a 8 ether hair or 7 ether hair, now 8 ether hair is like a curl. 7 ether hair is more like a wave. You know what I'm saying? So if you have mature locks that may be 5 years or more, maybe 4 years or more, and depending on the size of your locks, and your hair is more like that 7 ether curl or that wavy. Now 7 ether is a wave and the 8 ether is a curl. If you have that kind of texture of hair and you have heavy locks, it's going to cause your locks to thin. It's going to cause your hair to thin because it's heavy, and your hair texture is not really able to support the heavy lock. Number two. Now, number two is dehydration. And what I mean by that, we are people of color and our hair is different. And remember, in the stores, most of the time, especially for many years, there was not a lot of products that were made for us. So we had to find products that really worked with our hair. Now, over the years, I noticed in the 26 years that I've been doing hair that grease was one of the number one product that helped my hair, my children's hair, my clients' hair to really grow. Now, I got this idea from my mom and my grandmother. They always greased their hair and they greased our hair. And so I always felt, even though, I had locks. I just took my locks down 2 weeks ago, y'all. Even though I had locks, there were times in my life where I had perms. And before that, I had a curl. And before that, I was natural, as a child. But my mom always greased our hair. Even when we had a curl, sometimes she would grease our hair, even though, you can just use your activator, to keep that hair moisturized. But greasing your hair, taking care of your scalp, is number one to healthy hair, and it's healthy locks as well. So if you're greasing your scalp, keeping your hair hydrated, then it's going to be very good for growth and healthy hair, and you don't have to worry about any thinning. Now, if you have color, and I should have mentioned this when I talked about color, because I remember there was a client that had color in her hair, and she went on a vacation, and there they had the salt water, and so she was swimming in the salt water and things like that. Most of her color part on her hair all came out because salt water is a different kind of chemical, but it is a chemical. So mixing with the hair color, it caused all the color that was on her locks to just break off because it was dehydrated. So a good thing that you can do to keep your color hydrated, that I noticed, is use a conditioner on your color. And you just take the conditioner, put it in your hand, and most of the time people have color like at the end of their locks. Just put that conditioner on your color. That keeps your color or your locks hydrated, because for some reason, if you have color, your hair will become dehydrated. And you got to keep your scalp greased. And you can also put conditioner on your hair if you feel like you need to hydrate it. But I suggest that you can use not just oils, but maybe like a braid spray. It has a mixture of water and oil in it. That way you can keep it dehydrated. Just don't use conditioner along on your regular locks if it's not colored, because sometimes conditioners, they'll leave like a haze over your locks, making them look dull. So if you use like a braid spray or something that has oil in it, it helps your locks to become hydrated like you need it. Number one is stress. Just know that if you are stressing about anything in life, this breaks down your immune system. And if you're taking medication along with all the other things that's not healthy in your life, all of this is going to cause thinning to your hair and to your locks. So be very careful about stressing. Allow yourself to have those moments where you can get that divine self-care. You know, you can take a walk outside. You can sit out on the beach and just relax and just meditate to the water sounds, or you can even just do yoga or something that's going to make you happy. Remember, yes, we are going through a crazy time right now, and it is very stressful. This is for mostly everybody on the planet, but we also have to remember that we have to focus on what's good that's going on in our world, not tune into the fear, into the scarcity of what's going on around us, but tune into what is going right in your life and focus on that. Focus on your family, focus on love, happiness. All these things will help raise your vibration, will help your frequency and your energy. So focus on those things and you will get rid of the stress. If you're overworking, take some time off so you can relax and get back to that balanced state to where your whole entire body will be healthy. And if you are healthy and your body is healthy, you're going to produce healthy hair. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope it really inspires you, and that is 10 top reasons your locks are thinning. Hit that like button and subscribe and share this video, because I'm sure that this can help somebody. And when I talk about those 10 top reasons, remember, it's not just for locks. Most of these reasons are for loose hair or regular hair or perm hair. So you share this information so people can really understand what's really going on with their hair, because it's not just what you think it is. It can be many of those things or all those things combined together. So take care of yourself, love yourself more, and enjoy this life. Eat healthy, y'all. We all are gods and goddesses, co-creating the life that we are thinking of. Stay woke. Peace and love. Yamadan.